Storyblocks.
On Blitz, we have Ty Truelove, senior signal caller for the Rabun County Wildcats. Ty, hard to believe we blinked. You went from being like an 8th grader, knowing that you're going to be that next great quarterback, and now you're already a senior. So thank you so much for being on Blitz. Really appreciate it. Talk about the new chapter here for Rabun County with Coach Gillespie taking over. What excitement did you have when he came in, and what do you feel like he's bringing to the program?
So I mean, first when I heard, the first thing you do is look up the guy. I knew a couple guys from up here. Since with him being up here, I kind of asked around. But since day one, there's been a lot of time spent in his office. The guy pushes me more than anything I've ever seen, and I'm so appreciative for it. We get out on the practice field and he's on me, but that's gonna make the games easier. And so the scheme gives me a lot of opportunities. And so it's very nice having a lot of control over what we're doing, and I think as we go closer, I think it's going to be really good.
Yep. Now, through no fault of your own, you just been bit by the injury bug so many times. It's always that thing. Like at the end of your career, people are going to say, what would his numbers look like had he been able to stay healthy? And again, no fault of your own. But what do you feel like you've tried to do as much as you can to alleviate the possibilities of injury? And another interesting part of that is what do you feel like you've learned about yourself that's going to make you stronger in the long run?
Right, so I mean, everybody knows about my 2 shoulder injuries in high school, but it all started in my 7th grade year. I tore my growth plate, my throwing arm, and my elbow. Had UCL repair surgery, so it's always been something that's there. It's always been something I've had to push through, and I think at the end of the day it makes me a little bit tougher. I mean, my sophomore year I played 8 games with a torn labrum in my throwing shoulder, and it's not easy, but I think it gives me a lot of confidence in being a tough player, and that's how I like to play.
So the connection's always been there between Gunnar Stockton and Ty Truelove, and there was a game that we were at where you two were throwing to each other. It was like during halftime, going into the second half, and you had a jersey on and just throwing to Gunnar, and everyone knew you were going to kind of be the successor to that and be that next great quarterback here at Rabun County. Talk about the connection y'all have and what you were able to glean from him, and maybe some sage advice that he's given you along the way.
As a young guy coming up, 8th grade, I played JV, and that was it was almost like, oh guys, that's Gunnar. But the person that he is, you never would have thought that he has any offer in the world. He always would talk to me. He'd always teach me things. And I think the biggest thing from him is he's just so tough, and when he steps on the field, he knows that he's the best player on the field, no matter who's out there. I think that's a big thing with confidence that he taught me is, you doesn't matter who you're playing, where you're playing, just go play your game and be you.
Yeah, that's awesome. This senior class is pretty special. I think every senior class says that,
Right.
But this one, there's just so many 3-year starters, 4-year starters on it that have been proven playmakers, and I think that's part of what makes it special. But talk about this group, how special it is to you, this group of guys, and have you guys talked about what you want to do for this final run?
Right. It's been a thing, since like I said, 7th, 8th grade. We've always known that we're gonna have a good shot at it our senior year. That we're gonna have a good class, and I think it goes back to heck. Most of those guys are my best friends. We don't only hang out in football; we're together all year round, and I think that's a tight bond that we have. And I think it's going to work out for us. We know what each other think. We know what we're about to do. So I think that's a good thing for us. When we get on the field, we're very, very together.
Yeah, and that'll translate into wins too. And I know one thing that's like that missing for y'all has been the last couple of years being so close to winning a region title that we've been so accustomed to seeing here at Rabun.
Right.
I imagine that's got to put a chip on your shoulder. Talk about how hungry you guys are to get back at the top of the region standings.
No doubt. I believe we have one of the best communities in the state for football, and at the end of the day, it's not only for us, but losing the past 2 region championships, we're putting it on our community, and I think that's the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, we want to play for them as much as we want to play for us, and I think, every day we come in, we're working that that's always in the back of your head that you broke the streak. You know what I'm saying? So it's always thought about to get back to it.
Yeah, and you can be the one to start a new one, so that's the good thing. So next level, I know that you're destined to do big things after Raven County, but you've been fielding offers from high-level D1 programs since you were a freshman. Maybe not the offers, but just the visits and all the attention. But talk about some of the big offers you've gotten, the recruiting process in general, the highs, the lows, and when you may make a decision on your future.
I think it was, God, I can't even remember. I think it might have been going into my freshman year. I got a big offer to FAU, and that kind of, as much as it's a good thing, I don't know how much of a bad thing it is. You haven't played a varsity snap yet, and that gives you almost a big head as a younger kid. But with injuries, it's been tough, and I think that's what most people are looking for right now. Talking to them is they need to see a healthy season. So I think that the first 3 games are going to be really important for it. And, at the end of the day, it's just I hope to find somewhere feels like home and that I can go play. So.
Yep, that'll be awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ty. I really appreciate it, man. Looking for big things from you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.